Okay, guys. Well, I know I said that I was going to try to put together a video of me making a rapier. Well, when I got out here in the shop, I quickly realized something. I don't have the stuff to build an actual rapier right now. I need some more round rod, stuff like that, which I don't actually have. Um, I do, however, have the stuff to make a simple saber. So we're probably going to go that route. Which, and I will admit that technically the metal I'm going to be using is not actually hardenable. So we're going to go through the same steps to make a saber, even though this metal will never harden. Um, yeah, this is just mild steel, but it's about the same width as a either rapier or saber blade. It's just it will, I can heat treat it all day, and it might mildly harden, but it's not going to get anywhere near what we want. Um, but for sake of argument, I'm going to show y'all how it's done. And I mean, worst case scenario, it's a nice little pretty thing someone can hang on their wall and maybe practice with. But I would not recommend getting into any actual. I wouldn't recommend crossing blades with this thing. Um, that and how many really good uses does anyone have to actually own a sword outside of it's going to hang on a wall and look cool? I mean, honestly, that's the reason they call them wall hangers, is because most people buy them, put them up there in a plaque, and it stays there. I mean, not too many people actually, you know, get out there and use it. I mean, it might work for a self-defense thing if one or two strikes and you're done. I'll put an edge on it good enough to actually cut, but I'm not promising it'll hold an edge. Anyway, I've got the phone just kind of setting up on some random items in here right now, so y'all can kind of see what I'm doing. Alright, I don't know if you can see the forge over here. So first off, you cut a bar to I do a lot of smaller type swords, so this is like 2 foot. I do have a little handguard that it's just a piece of the same stuff. This is the stuff you get at like Home Depot or Lowe's here, or like when people are putting in chain link, and they put the little spanner there between the pole and the fence. That's what this is. I mean, it'll make a nice enough little cross guard kind of thing. You knock all this whatever off the outside and shape it a little bit, drill a couple of holes, and there you go. Well, that would actually be backward. It would be more like this. And then you can either bend that down or bend it up. I haven't really figured out which direction we're going with this yet. But, I think actually I was planning on making a dagger out of that. Which, honestly, guys, since this is such a crappy piece of metal, why don't we just do that to save y'all some time, and we'll just make a dagger out of this one, and when I actually get the good material to make a good sword, I'll show you that. But for now, yeah, let's just cut this down to dagger size, and just kind of go from there. Alright, well, let me get you up here where you can kind of see maybe what's going on. I got to figure out some place to put the phone. There's a magnet. Will you sit there? Nope, you will not. Okay. Well, yeah, that'll go in there. Okay. So, let's get you over here for now. I remember to talk through all this stuff is going to be fun. Move the limbs off. I don't think you're going to want that all up in your face. Oops. Yeah, you kind of still need to be able to see what I'm going to work. This is kind of a new experience for me trying to actually videotape this, so kind of work with me. I've never actually recorded the process before, so yeah, that's being fun. are you going to fall off of there? No, it looks like you might actually sit where you're supposed to. Can you see the vise? There's the vise. Okay. Okay. Now, where did that... Okay, first off, we're going to move this. I don't need that thing getting hit with 1,000,001 sparks. Whoa. Okay, I didn't know that was going to shift. Get up there, stay up there. Ice. You can barely see it, but you can see it well enough. Markings. Okay. Yeah, this type of blade would have actually been called a stiletto. It's very narrow, very stabby. And yeah, we're going to go with that as an actual term, even though, yeah. Sure you can stay. Okay, get in there. Come on. Well. Okay, we're going to do this a little bit easier way because I'm getting tired of fiddling with this. There we go. So, now we are kind of down to our dagger size. Yeah, that'll be about right. Okay, so hopefully you can see, yeah, you can see the edge of that. Don't like where that's sitting. We will move you right here over the grinder. Let's turn you this way, in fact. That way I know you'll have the full grinder in view. Well, enough of the grinder in view. See this rough stuff back here? Well, we don't really want that getting our hand, so that's gone. Well, we can do it.